there is a power line down there that I don't like. Do you see it?
Yep.
Going right across the runway.
That's okay, we have no choice now.
Heading to the airport for my next lesson, flying time. But this time, got a buddy. He's gonna fly too. He's not much for words. Now, today's episode is all about emergency procedures. And this airplane has a required pilot's operating handbook, or POH. We have these in every one of our Cessnas and every one of our airplanes. And in it are a couple of sections. One is for normal procedures, and the other is for emergency or abnormal procedures. Now, normally I carry around these two checklists, and this one is the one I've been using all the time. It's our normal procedures checklist. But today, we're going to be focusing on this guy. Now, as I said in the beginning, my friend Marty is in town, and he is going to be riding in the back. As a student pilot, I am not allowed to have passengers in the airplane when I'm flying solo until I get my private pilot certificate. But Derek, since he's going along with me, he is allowed to have passengers in the back. So you'll see Marty in a few of the shots, taking pictures and enjoying the flight, tagging along. Now, this checklist has procedures for all kinds of different things that we can go through, but today we're going to focus on a small number of them. So here is a visual aid. Today's episode is going to be engine failure on the takeoff roll. We're going to demonstrate engine failure on climb out. We're going to demonstrate an engine failure in cruise flight, how to handle that. We're also going to demonstrate an emergency descent in case we have to descend very, very rapidly. Lots of reasons why that might happen. And then we're going to finally demonstrate an engine failure while in the pattern, which we've already done a few of those, so this shouldn't be new, but maybe I'll do better at it this time. So if you haven't figured it out, there's a bit of a theme here. Today is about engine failures.
Okay, works. Seatbelt's good. Are you good in the back? Buckled up? Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Buckled up.
Flaps and trim are set. We're going to use no flaps. Takeoff briefing. What are we doing this time?
Okay, so we're going to do an engine failure on the takeoff roll on the ground. So we're going to request from the tower a short delay on the runway, and if she approves it, then we're going to go out on the runway. You're going to start rolling down the runway. When the airspeed comes alive at about 40 knots, I'm going to reach up, I'm going to grab your throttle, I'm going to pull your gum underneath, and I'm going to pull your throttle to idle. In the abort process, we're going to maintain directional control of the airplane. We're going to start applying brakes and aft stick, but not enough aft stick to lift off the ground. We just want to apply aft stick to resist the push against the brakes so that we don't lock the tires up. Just enough brakes to slow down. No need to slam on the brakes and lock them up. Okay? And if you start to hear them squeal or chatter, release the brakes a little bit and let the airplane slow down positively instead of in a skid.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
And then what are we going to do after that?
And then we're going to come to a complete stop, and we're going to run our engine failure on takeoff checklist if we have time. But if for simulation purposes require, she's got someone in the pattern and she says, we need to go, then we'll go ahead and go.
Engine failure, takeoff front. Okay.
I would always have that emergency checklist available somewhere. Sometimes you can stick it like right here, and then you have it all the time, or something like that. Or if you want it on your clipboard, that's okay too. If we didn't have the cameras up, I would slap it in the windshield.
Sure.
Somewhere easily accessible.
Yep. Here we go.
Cessna 7 November Victor, traffic departing prior to arrival, runway on our left, clear to land.
We're going to be able to do our check.
Runway on our left, 737 November Victor.
All right, here we go.
All right, so for this simulation, we're going down the runway, and all of a sudden, the engine quits.
Okay.
All right, aft stick, and you would come to complete stop and run your checklist.
Okay. Okay, stop. Okay.
And then you run your engine failure on takeoff.
Checklist is brakes apply, flaps retract, mixture idle cutoff, ignition would be off, and battery master switch off.
All right, cool.
Airplane in this.
All right, let's continue in normal takeoff now.
Normal takeoff, power coming in. Airspeed's alive. Engine is reaching the green. There's 50 knots. Here's 55. Away we go. This airplane just leaps off the ground.
All right, nice gentle rotation. Let's lower that nose.
Yep, lower the
Pitch
nose.
for VY. A little right rudder.
Okay,
You got the ball out to the right.
I see that.
All right, one down. Engine failure on the takeoff roll. Let's move on to the next one.
You got it.
Now, engine failure on takeoff. I have the throttle.
You have the
All right,
throttle.
so we're going to lose the engine now.
Okay.
So to get to best glide, we actually have to pitch down from here and hold 65. And look, we have a nice landing strip right in front of us, that golf course, all right?
Yeah, I see that.
And we can run whatever checklist we can by then. We'll take care of it, but if we can't, then we'll just go ahead and land straight ahead. All right, go around, 500 feet. And go ahead and establish that climb before 500. Thank you. So there's precious little time in the event of an engine failure on takeoff, and we always have to pitch down for best glide. When you get out in the practice area and we start having engine failures in flight and we're practicing that procedure, you're always going to want to pull up to get to 65, slow the airplane down and get it at best glide, and then glide down to your field. On a takeoff engine failure, you're going to go down towards 65, all right? And then you want to come in with the trim, run what checklist you can, declare an emergency,
And your name is?
What'd she say?
land wherever you'd like. Straight ahead, preferably within 30 degrees of the
First 4791 Acklem open ground, runway 90 left, taxi via Kilo. Wind is 110 at 11, gust 16, altimeter 3010.
If you have 700 feet or greater, sometimes it's possible to make it back to the airport depending on winds and atmospheric conditions and your technique.
Okay. Climb checklist here real quick. Flaps are retracted. Cruise speed 80. Climb cruise speed 80 knots. Check gauges. Instruments are in the gauge. Flight path appears clear. All right, go on. Sorry.
It's just not something we typically train for. You could take specific courses on it, but you must be very careful executing that maneuver. Take me up to 25, 3,500 feet the first time, because I want you to have some time to work your emergencies.
Got it.
All right, that's 2. Engine failure on climb out. Let's move on to cruise flight engine failures.
Heading is south.
How are we doing on our cruise check?
3,500 feet. Protect maneuver. India south.
Landing light up and maintain heading indicator. We'll check that. It looks wrong. There we go. Okay. Engine out. Set for best glide.
All right, first thing is to maintain control of the airplane,
Right. So best glide. We're gonna pull. Looking for 6.
Hotel East traffic out of Skycover Barefoot Bay. We are 3,500 and below, simulated engine out, Hotel East. All right, so let's trim that airplane up and get it to 65 knots. That way we can do a little less work and start concentrating on our best field and our checklist.
So we're looking for best field.
All right.
I'd be going to Sebastian, I think, or trying to turn back to
So
Bulgaria.
we're talking about edge of best glide. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say that's right at the edge.
Okay, what about, especially since we have a wind from here, I'd turn back towards Valkyria, or would we lose too much altitude?
I would try to pick something about half the gliding distance from your position that looks like a really good place to land.
How about US 1?
Okay, let's try that.
So, we're going to want to head this way, I think, on US 1.
Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't mean we need to extend down into that way because we know that's the city down there.
Right,
we
so
know
I'm
this
gonna
is
turn up this
rural.
way.
So maybe you could kind of circle over this point right here and start headed down towards the highway where you know there's not going to be a lot of cars and power lines.
Okay, landing area select, carburetor heat is going to go on. Did I do that?
Yep.
Pull it on. In case that fixes. Field selector valve is set to both, mixture full rich. Ignition switch, bam, 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 trying to get it started again.
All right, we also want to check to make sure it's on both.
It is.
Checking the operation of the engine as we descend. It's called clearing the engine.
Okay.
Making sure it doesn't flood and quit when we try to go around at 500 feet.
So now what? So we've done our descent.
So pick your spot where you're going to actually do your touchdown and either orbit over it or set up for a landing. So where are you thinking here?
I like this straight area right here below me.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna orbit over it until we get down.
Well, let's look at what's available out here. I see a road running north-south over there that is about, I don't know, 4,000 feet long
Where do
off
you
the
see
left
that?
wing.
Right over there?
North and south with a little ball at the end, a little cul-de-sac at the end.
Yeah, I see that.
It looks like a really good place to put down.
There's a tower to the east of it, but I see it, so I can watch out for that.
So what if we set up to go towards that and land maybe towards the south? We would have a direct crosswind, but it's definitely a clear area where no one's around.
Right.
Hotel East Tribe, we got a Skycover Barefoot Bay simulated engine out 2,000 feet in a blow. Hotel East. All right, so we got some other stuff we can be doing right now, right? Definitely engine's not coming back. It's definitely broke.
Okay, so we're gonna go transponder, declare an emergency.
Okay, what are we gonna put the transponder to?
7700.
Okay.
We're gonna get on 121.5. We're gonna call Mayday. Would you call Mayday, Mayday?
Yep.
Okay, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. And Skyhawk 65685. What would you do at this point?
We had an engine failure. We're about 4 miles south of Valkyria, next to Barefoot Bay. We got two or three souls on board. 3 souls on board today. 2 or 3.
Right.
3 souls on board. We're gonna put down in a road just off the west side of US 1. All right, so continue lining up for this runway.
I feel like I'm gonna overshoot it as high as I am.
Okay, so what can we do to get down? We can add some flaps.
Should I? Okay. I'm in the white arc, so I can go all the way. Pulling in for
We can do
65
S
knots.
turns.
I was gonna
You
probably
can control
do some
your
S turns.
bank.
To 1,000 feet.
And the most important thing is to keep flying the airplane.
Yep.
So once we declared our emergency, we can go ahead and start doing our power off landing checklist.
Okay, power up landing checklist, emergency declared, seatbacks both upright in lock position.
They are.
Okay, seatbelts, everybody but seatbelts fastened.
We got them.
Okay, mixture idle cutoff, pull. I'm not gonna do.
All right. Not faux real. All right, watch your flying now. Now is more important time to just concentrate on the flying. Get that nose down. We're gonna pitch up and we're gonna get into the stall regime there. So keep turning towards your field.
Yep.
Get the nose down, keep turning towards your field. All right, don't do anything else, just fly the airplane
Okay,
out.
you got it.
All right, hands off the declare shield. Get your hand on the power lever. Nose down.
Oh, there is a power line down there that I don't like. You see it?
Yep.
Going right across the runway.
That's okay, we have no choice now. All right, 500 feet, go around. Pull. Nose down, push the nose down, push the nose down, push the nose
Got it.
down. Flaps up, car feet off. Right rudder. All right, maintain direction and control of the aircraft. How you doing on your ears? I see you might be suffering a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Set VY. You okay back there, Marty?
Fantastic. All right, so we had the fields confused. I was talking about that road over there, the closer road. You picked this one with a circle at the end. I was looking at the one with the cul-de-sac.
Oh, you said cul-de-sac, and I saw the
That's
round circle and said, let's do it. I understand what you're saying now.
That's okay. All right, but point selection is more important, right? It's more survivable to land somewhere out here where you don't have opposing traffic or the risk of hitting a big power line or something like that. We'll do it again. We'll go back up and do it again.
The reason I would pick US 1 by the river there is because I would figure that there would be a less chance of having a power line going over the road.
Maybe not.
Maybe not,
Just
yeah.
depends.
Alright, there's 1,000 feet. We're going to set for 80 knots. I'm going to stay away
Go ahead.
from...
You can circle in this area here. Yeah, one thing to do is by the time you get to 1,000 feet and it doesn't look like you're going to make your field, you want to be flying the airplane the whole time. All right, and ignore the checklist at that point. Do what you can by memory, and don't be heads down at that point.
Gotcha.
It's important to do the checklist, but it's also really, really important to to get the airplane on the ground safely. So when I stopped you those few times when we were doing the engine outs, it was because I was like, all right, dude, don't let this drive what you're doing. You want to survive. Survival's, if you forget to put the seat backs up, but you can make a runway like that and live, it's not going to matter if the seat backs were up or down, or if you declared an emergency or not, because you made the runway and you lived and the airplane wasn't even damaged at all. And then you just call the mechanic.
I need to work on memorizing some of these things in the checklist.
You will. We're introducing them.
Right.
We're introducing them today.
Right.
All right, make a left 180 and we'll head back on the beach.
Okay.
I want to kind of stay up towards Melbourne here. Don't want to get too far away. Just for the purposes of time.
That one could have been better, but you know, this is introduction. Engine failure on cruise flight. Let's get to something fun. How about an emergency descent?
All right, there's 2,500. Go ahead and level off and head up the beach here. Nice and smooth today. So we do the emergency descent. We're going to execute it at BNO. So we had emergency descent would be used for, you know, any reason that you need to get down as fast as possible. You're on fire. You're having a medical issue in the cockpit with yourself or a passenger. You got icing. You got, you know, inadvertent IMC about to happen, but hasn't happened yet. Like you see a bunch of clouds in front of you. You need to get down. You don't want to do the emergency descent in IMC, but, you know, prior to, if you need to avoid IMC, it's a way to get around it. And there's a lot of reasons to do an emergency descent. When you go on with your career, the biggest reason to do an emergency descent is loss of pressurization, okay? So you're going to have full engine power when you do the emergency descent in most cases. It's not a power off. It's a power off maneuver because you choose to put the engine idle, but it's not, you don't do this in the event of an engine failure unless you absolutely have to make an airfield.
Okay.
All right. So the emergency descent checklist that I have for you is on this side of the checklist. All right. And so let's say you decide to do an emergency descent now. You're going to follow that checklist.
Right.
And we're going to pull the power to idle, so why don't we go ahead and do that. And we'll say that we're going to be heading this way for the emergency descent because that's clear of obstructions in traffic.
Okay.
So power goes to idle, and we're going to roll the plane to 30 degrees of bank, little left rudder to follow along, and push the nose down, push it down as you turn. The turn keeps us positive G. All right, keep pushing the nose down, keep pushing the nose down, keep pushing the nose down. Keep diving, and then we're going to want to get to about 120 and then roll out at 90 degrees and turn there. All right, level off at 1500. So this is our emergency descent airspeed. Look how fast we're descending. Pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
And then leave the level off now. So add some power and pull up. That's 2300 RPM, just 2300. Avoid going over the red line. There we go. Cool, how's that?
That was fun.
And make a right turn toward radiation.
Yep.
Boom. 4 down. All right, last one. Engine failure while in the pattern.
Request short approach for 685.
Say again.
685, request short approach.
685, base your discretion.
Thanks. All right, you've had an engine failure.
Turning towards the runway, 65 knots.
Look at the runway. Don't look at the gauges. They do nothing for you now. Now you must survive.
I'm going to survive.
And be careful about cutting in.
Okay.
I want you to still touch down in the touchdown zone if possible, even though this is a simulated emergency. Let's try to treat it as though we're training for a more specific landing spot.
Okay, flaps to 10. We got a lot of altitude to bleed off.
That's right, because we turned too early. Because the tendency is always to turn right towards the airport. That's not always the answer.
Well, my CFI told me that. Always turn towards the airport.
Oh, of course. Turn towards the airport, but not directly towards the middle of the runway. Sometimes
Safety.
the judgment, sometimes you have to judge it differently.
Sure. Alright, flaps to full. Aim at the runway.
Melbourne Tower, Cherokee 644, Foxtrot Tango over the interstate.
Cherokee 644, Foxtrot Tango, runway 9 right, cleared to land, long landing approved if you wish.
Runway's made.
Don't pull up, don't pull up.
Foxtrot Tango, clear to land.
Now pull up.
Runway 9 right.
Very careful of flaring too early.
Okay. Ups up, trim set.
Repeat off. Center line.
Center line. Alright. Right rudder. 55 knots.
That was a very nice rotation. That's much better.
Ka-chow. I think that's about enough fun for one day. What do you think? All right, after this, Derek demonstrated a forward slip to landing. I did a couple of them too. They were all right, but for time's sake, we're gonna go ahead and end the episode here. So thanks for joining us. That's it for this episode of Flight Review. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best audience, and we're so glad to have you. If we've earned your subscription, that would be huge. Like it if you like this video. Maybe ring that bell so you get notified of new episodes. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Fallon Aviation. They are a huge part of this show. From headsets to study materials to engine oil and aircraft cleaning supplies to uniforms and other apparel to all kinds of aircraft accessories. These guys have your back. So check them out at FallonAviation.com. The Fallon Pilot Shop has all kinds of stuff and they ship pretty much anywhere. So again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time when I start doing a whole bunch of pattern work and begin getting introduced to operations at uncontrolled airfields. It's a lot of fun.
You okay back there, Marty?
Good shape. Oh man, he's throwing up everywhere. Oh, it's all over everything.
All over all the things.
It's just your rough flying, Dave.
Yeah, I'm an autopilot.